Hey everybody, this is Jo and I'm here in my Houston, Texas garden. I'm in zone 9A/B and it is the end of February, and I thought I would give you a look at how things are going. I finally got everything with a lot of help, got everything chopped back and pots put back where they're supposed to be. I have clearly hit the little nurseries around town. Everybody has too many pansies and it's already 80 degrees, so they were $1 a piece, so I bought some more. Oh, Miss Doubtfire has shown up. I have got, I started on these darling little snowflakes, which I need to remember to buy some. They do so well in Houston and they come up every year without fail. And so I need to buy some more. I just stuck those in the corner there and they've been the prettiest little thing. So I highly recommend getting some in the fall, planting them in the fall. And then I've got my husband's, he's kind of trimmed up his bonsais, and we're hoping that this little one right here isn't dead, but and then I've got some things for the front yard. I bought some rock rose, and I'll give you a little update on the front yard later. I started seeds last year. You may remember I started seeds too early. It got cold, and I basically pitched them all. And so here I am finally getting started today with just a few things. I'm really doing very few. I'm mostly doing direct sow out of laziness reasons. And I was glad I'd already made that decision when I fell and broke bones this fall and really didn't have a lot of I don't have a lot in me this spring to be doing a lot of sowing seeds and starts. Here is the thing, one of the things that's cracking me up. This is Thai basil, which I planted last year, and it didn't bloom until the winter. We only had one freeze this year, about 6 weeks ago. I put it into the garage for the night, and it's come out really beautifully. So I planted some new at the bottom, and then I wanted to show you I've got this sort of pitiful gomphrena in here as well, and it's all come back. You know, unless it was literally going to freeze, I did not protect this, and I just stuck it in the garage for a couple of days when it froze. And other than that, it's been, you know, down to 33. And the gomphrena, I've been real surprised, in a pot and also in the ground, has seemed to really done just fine. You can see we cut back everything here just this week, but honestly, this is that Salvia amistad. Look how big it is already. Isn't this crazy? This is what I cut down, and I talked about this last year, so I didn't cut this all the way to the ground. See how this salvia's got a hollow stem, and so I will leave that there for next year's, next winter's creatures. If there are any bugs that need to have some kind of, and especially there are some native bees, well, if they're big enough holes, I guess, will overwinter in something like that. And so I've got some old ones I've noticed that were from last year that have been here all year, all last year. And you can see how crusty this one is. That's been there for a year now. And I'm hoping that it was a nice little shelter for creatures during the winter. And so that's why I have cut it not to the ground, but I have left several, up to 2 feet of old stem. I do that particularly with stems that have a hollow, plants that have a hollow stem. And, everything else just chopped to the ground. I'm a little worried that my my redbud, this is a Texas redbud, and there is not a sign of life anywhere. Everywhere, all over Houston, the redbuds are gorgeous, and mine has not even attempted to pop up. So we'll see how that, whether it's dead or not. I sure hope it's all right. I've moved a big rose from here. It wasn't getting enough sun to over by the fence. So now I kind of have a hole, an empty space here, and I'm gonna put in some Forsythia sage. I have never grown this. I follow another Houstonian on YouTube, And she has forsythia sage in her yard, and it's gorgeous. And so I saw this and I thought I better do it. And it is a pale yellow, which works really well for me. I don't think there are any actual flowers left on here, but it's a pale yellow, big, tall salvia. And I'm going to put it kind of out here. I've got a couple more that I will pop around. And I'm hoping that'll give me some nice, pretty pale yellow bouncing around. Okay, let me start. I got distracted and now just wandered off into the middle of the garden. I'll show you from this end. I've got lots of green, and the most green things that are showing right now are sort of the puffiest are the carrots I put in. I put these in very late because I broke my bones and couldn't get out here. The carrots are looking good. They'll have big white flowers. Now, we did get in right after I talked my sweet husband into planting all the parsley that I bought. And so big puffs of parsley that'll have big yellow flowers, big floaty carrots again, parsley again. This is my theme for the year. Now, the other thing I have is a native verbena. It's very much like or a little bit like a Verbena bonariensis, and but it's a native Texas plant. And so I've trimmed it back. It seems really happy. Right here, I'm hoping it'll be just great. And then look at this. I'm starting to look for little seeds everywhere, little seedlings. That is a larkspur seedling, and I kind of feel like that's what is that? Maybe a purple coneflower seedling, or oh, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. The Salvia leucantha, of course, native, coming back as always. And again, I left the stems. A lot of these stems are good places for creatures to overwinter next winter, so I will leave them, and they'll get covered up real quickly. I've cut back my grasses. All the crinums have come back up very prettily. Literally this week, we just cut back all of the shrimp plant. The irises look great. I need to be more systematic about my tour. My roses are looking beautiful. I'll show you the middle bit and then I'll circle back. Roses are looking so green and beautiful. And some of them are starting to bloom already. That's 290 pink buttons. Hello, show us your belly. What a cutie pie. This big bushiness is Monarda, Peter's Purple. Has been spectacular for a couple of years. It does wander, and what I haven't done and that I need to is see how it's gotten up under my rose bush. And I've done this other years where I just dig it up. It has a big, massive root ball. You really can't hurt it. I just dig clumps up and put them somewhere else. And it's wandered off a little bit. And then I've got some salvias in here. And then this is that Tutti Frutti Agastache that I have such an obsession with. And when I finally said to the universe, I'm not buying that anymore. It always dies. It's come back. And I've got some Ammi that'll have big white puffy flowers coming up there as well. More carrots. Oh, let me get back in here. I'll show you. I've got things popping up in here. I've thrown so many seeds out. And I'm trying not to walk out here very much. This is a Salvia farinacea, which is a native Texas salvia. These are just carrots I put in. These three right here, sort of blue-green spiky, are called Rattlesnake Master. That's a native plant, and it should have a really funky kind of sea holly look to it. And so I'm excited to see what that will be. All of my other salvias in here are coming back. This is the Salvia Amonti, which has all come back really strongly. I've got parsley coming up in here. I've got more carrots. And then this, and you guys may be able to help me. I planted a Duranta. I moved it here in the fall. And I understand that it will come back, that it's a perennial and it's fine, it's native to Texas, but it is not showing any signs of life. And I don't know whether I should expect it to come back from the ground or sprout back from here, or if this is a goner. So if you have any advice on what expectations I should have for this Duranta, let me know, because I've only had it for a while and I've moved it, and so I don't really know what I'm doing at this point. All of this green, all of this bushy little green is a Texas wildflower. It's evening primrose, pink, which I grew up calling buttercups, even though they're pink. And never put this in your garden, never throw the seeds out, because I've been pulling this up. It's wonderful, but it is so invasive in a flower bed. You know, this belongs in a field. It does not belong in your flower bed, or you're going to end up just pulling things out. That's what I've been doing. So I'm just trying to, you know, it's beautiful. I want it to bloom, but I pull as much as I can deal with out. Hello, Mrs. I've pruned my roses, some earlier, some later. I just pruned this one a day or two ago, but some of them I pruned much earlier. They were just already leafing out, and I thought, well, go ahead and do it, you know. This is that crazy Amy called Dara. That's the pink Amy that it grew here. I planted this a year ago from seed. It went through the summer. I had a little cage on it, a little bird, you know, little cloche over it. It was in complete shade all summer underneath a bunch of mess. I found it in the fall. It has made, you know, I didn't cover it or anything. It's been fine all winter, even through the freeze. And now I can see it's getting ready to have its first flower. It'll have a big flat pink umbral. I think it's called an umbral, like a carrot flower. It's in the carrot family. Here's some more of that yellow forsythia sage that I bought. And then I've got a few, you know, it's so, you never know. Gardening is so ridiculous. I've got a few little cone flowers coming up, pretty and lovely, little. I've got one that's just like a flower coming out with almost no, you know, very few leaves. And then I've got, let me climb back over here. Then I've got this thing. This is self-sown. This is one purple cone flower. Came up from seed. I didn't plant it there. It was right in my little walkway. Came up from seed last year. And look at this. This is bananas. I didn't plant this on purpose. I planted this little thing on purpose. And yet the ones that I just leave alone, I get this. So it's so fun. It's so fantastic. I've got some all kinds of little seedlings coming up. I've got bluebonnets. Let me show you. This one's already blooming. This is a Texas bluebonnet. This is the Texas state flower. Look how gorgeous. It's a little lupin. And I've got that one already blooming next to my beautiful fennel for butterflies. And I've got other bluebonnets here. And then I've got one that just sprouted. Come on, dude. That's been that seed was planted 1 billion years ago. And then I've got this, I think this is called, gosh, it's going to be like a teeny tiny bishop's weed. Let me think about it. What is that called? Anyway, I can't remember. I'll come up with that name in a minute. I think it's going to be about this tall, like a Queen Anne's lace, not a bishop, but like a Queen Anne's lace that'll just be a foot tall. I think that's what that is. I threw seeds out a while back. And then I've got things like, I've got larkspur coming up, and I forgot to throw most of my larkspur seeds out. And so when I saw larkspur in the store, I bought some this week and planted some more. And then you can see my little daylilies peeping up. I've got all this. This is that wild geranium that I just let go. I do try to keep it to one little area, and when it gets out of hand, I pull it out a lot. But it's fun, and it's one of the earliest things that comes up when it's still cold outside. It comes up in the winter. It has tiny little flowers. It's all kind of gone to seed now, and it's one of the earliest flowers. And I leave it, even though really it's a weed, but it's a native weed. It's a native plant. My could show you, I could make a 2-hour video and show you all the business, every plant, but I won't do it yet. Got these wonderful daylilies coming up. And then look, here's my little Blackfoot daisy. It's the first flower. More daylilies, and then lots of, I mean, there's a lot of weeds. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of that is stuff that I've seeded. And then can you see the little violas, little Johnny jump ups out there that have just, you know, they sort of self-seeded everywhere. But I've thrown tons of seeds out, and I trimmed this rose fairly well. It's just getting all its leaves in. The Stokes aster, I thought I had lost the third one, but it ended up being underneath all the mess. When I cleaned everything out, I found it. Those were beautiful, and I wasn't sure how they would do it. They made it. They're native Texas. They're gorgeous. They bloomed for a long time, and they're doing really well. My little bicolor sage that was so beautiful finally hated me. I had one make it through. It was so pretty, and then it froze. It is coming back. But I got so excited about it. Let's see where there was another little bit. It's coming back, but I got so excited I saw some more. But that's what that's gonna be. It's so pretty. It's been finicky, but once it got going, it was lovely. Excuse me. All evening primrose, and I've pulled out almost that much already. It's ridiculous. This is the most fun thing that's happening for me, is my little sort of pocket prairie amongst the in the middle of the succulent theater. So this is my first bluebonnet over here. Look how gorgeous. Isn't it wonderful? I'm so thrilled. And then all these little violas, little Johnny jump ups, just self-seeded. Those are all in the gravel from last year. And then I've got also coming up in the gravel, and I'm doing this, there are not very many big ones, a larkspur, so I have my little cage over it so I don't step on it. Lots and lots of bluebonnets came up, and I have larkspur now popping up all in here. I found seeds I'd forgotten to throw out. I threw them out, and then there's a lot of weeds in here as well. But this is just mostly bluebonnets out here. Now, one of the new things that I bought day before yesterday, is an elderberry. So I don't really know anything about elderberries, but it's a native, hit by a bug in the face. It's a native Texas plant, native to like most of the United States, if not all. And it'll get not a whole lot bigger than it is right now in this pot. And it will, it'll get maybe the size of this fence or a little bigger. And it will have beautiful white flowers, but also purple berries in the fall and the winter for birds. And that's, me, I'm all about finding things that will feed the birds. So I'm gonna tuck that back in there. I've got my little babies peeking out. This is my little Texas kidney wood popping back out. This, I'm hoping this will bloom. This is a parsley hawthorn, native Texas, gorgeous white flowers, big thorns. It's just a little tree, and I'm hoping, I know it doesn't really have enough room there, but I'm hoping it'll give me some flowers. I've got the arrowwood viburnum coming up. Coming back with its little new growth. And I've got new growth on the coral honeysuckle. Look at that new growth down there. So pretty. I'm so excited to have it grow on here. Here's more here of the a third arrowwood viburnum. I can still see berries on my wax myrtle from last year, and then it has started blooming. It doesn't have a showy bloom, but can you see this little business? Those are all little kind of flowers. They sort of pooped out. They were a little bit white in the last couple of days, but I'm excited about that. And my little coralberry, look how beautiful it looks. I think I'm gonna put another one here, but the new growth has such a pretty limey green color to it. I just love it. And then, oh, I've got to do my front yard quick. Ooh, can you see the pink magnolia, tulip magnolia? Incredible. Hello, Mrs. Hello. You coming back? We're going this way. All my little coral berries here have come back. They've survived their last year's infestation of spider mite. And then look, they even have, some of them still have their little berries on it. I don't know if I can get you to see how pretty that color that is. Beautiful berry. Now I just noticed, this is a Mrs. B.R. Cant, big favorite rose. I really didn't prune it. It did so badly in the last 2 years of drought and lost so many leaves. I just left it. And so look at that beautiful, tons of leaves. This is the best it's looked in at least a year and a half. So I'm thrilled with that. I was going to hopefully give you an update on the dahlias that I had in this pot, and I dug them up and put them in the house when it froze, and I was going to replant them, and then I put them in a tall kitchen garbage bag. So maybe don't do that and then lose track of where they are, and then they get thrown away because I can't find them. I think they're gone. So be careful when you put plants even just for a day or two in a trash bag because they can get accidentally thrown away. So no dahlias this year, but I've got some pretty stock in there. I wanted to have some kind of flower out here. I had so many bees already. And then this, my goodness, this is the lance leaf coreopsis, and it's already, this thing didn't freeze down. I didn't cover it. I had no idea it was going to act like a evergreen, but I'm really impressed. Look at that. And it's getting ready to have yellow flowers. It's going to be so pretty. That's back there is where we put the bush, the rose that I moved. That was supposed to be a bush and ended up just being so big. And here again, I've got little, in the gravel, just self-sown little volunteer coneflowers that I will move into the flower bed. And here's Old Blush. I cannot recommend it enough. Look how wonderful. And it's just such a no-nonsense rose. You know, if you have a parking lot you need to put things in, this is the rose for you. You just can't go wrong. My little, this is the, what's this called? Gulf Coast Penstemon. And I had a heck of a time getting these established back here, but once I got them established, and this looks like it's getting ready to have a bloom spike on it. Once I got it established, it just finally sort of took hold, and I think it's going to be all right. I want to show you a thing back here. All my little native ferns are beautiful, greening up again. I wanted to show you this native Walters viburnum. Now in the front yard, and I'll do a video ASAP on that, it's really there in the sun, much more sun, and they kind of look like little boxwoods. They stay pretty small and compact. But here, they're, you know, under these trees, and so they're pretty much in the shade all year, and they have gotten a real different habit and are much taller and ganglier, but just as happy and blooming so prettily. blooming back here. The shady ones are blooming, the sunny ones are blooming. I love this. I love this shrub. It's a wonderful native shrub. Everything else chopped back. I did trim up my my other wax myrtle. I think it looks really pretty there in the corner. I'm so tempted. I probably will never do it, but I would love to paint this fence a dark gray and have that pop against it, but I won't ever do it. But I have delusions. Now, to make myself feel better, because so many things are green but not blooming, I have been to the store and found my favorite things: ivy geraniums and beautiful begonias of different kinds. These are all cuttings from my own. And then I've got some new that I bought sort of in the winter, early spring maybe, and they got pretty gangly. I've trimmed them back. This is from last year, but you can see all the new growth. Look how sweet. And this has probably made it a couple of years now. Hi, baby. Are you showing off for all the people? Say hello to your fans. And I love this. I love these beautiful pots. New plants. And then this is from earlier, and you can see it's got new little growth on it. It's really pretty, but boy, that got goofy looking fast, didn't it? That's a pretty new plant. Now, a lot of these are new ivy geraniums, but this one has made it. This one is from last year. Now, last year I also had this variety with this sort of red and pink together. And if you recall, possibly, I decided to propagate it when it was 100 degrees outside. And by simply trimming it, I didn't do a huge butcher job, but by simply trimming it when it was that hot, I killed it. I mean, dead. The one I didn't trim is this one, and it still looked beautiful. So I was able to replace it, find some more, but you know, learn from my mistakes, is that you can keep an ivy geranium really going beautifully. And I did cut it back pretty hard this winter, but you can keep them going in Texas, in Houston, for a long time. I think this one is at least a year old, maybe more, but you can get it through the heat. It does live in the shade mostly. You can get it through the heat and through the winter, but don't trim it back when it's too hot. Live and learn. Here is my little chili pekin. It's still got, now, you can cook with these little chilies, but I left it. It's called bird pepper, and birds love to eat these little chilies. And so it's looking like it's getting a little bit of growth, new growth, but I'm thinking about putting that in the ground. Hello, Mrs. Such a helper. I'm so thrilled about my little olive tree that I'm making into a topiary. Look at the new growth. Isn't that amazing? It's everywhere. And I have already pinched back. It's very it's very emotionally difficult to pinch back a brand new little soft plant, but I've done some pinching back. It hurts my soul. I'm not good. I'm not a good pruner. Now, I did trim back a little bit of this native oak leaf hydrangea, just to try to shape it a little bit. It blooms on new growth, so I think it's okay. You can see I've got a little new growth back there, so it was all right that I went ahead and trimmed it back. I haven't seen any signs of life in this climbing pipe vine. Oh no, I take that back. Looky loo, a little life coming back in the pipe vine. But this pipe vine did beautifully. I didn't cover it. I didn't do anything. I think I put a handful of leaves on it for the freeze, but it came through really beautifully. And this one is a little smaller, but it sure looks pretty. And so I was at Joshua's Native Plants this week in Houston in the Heights, and they had some, and I went ahead and bought one more because I love the pipevine swallowtail butterfly caterpillars are my favorite. They're like little rubber bugs, and they're my favorite. I like them even better than the swallowtail butterflies and the monarchs. I think they're the most fun to raise. Well, thanks for looking at my hodgepodge wandering around tour of my garden, and take a look. I just put up today a really short little video. I had two eastern black swallowtail chrysalises. I had two of those chrysalises have their little emerging butterflies, and I found them right after it happened. And so there's a little 2-minute video of that, so I highly recommend it. It's so much fun. I was so thrilled. I just happened to see them, and they had been on my back porch waiting to come out for like a year. So take a look at that. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and that you are getting to play in your garden, and that little green things are peeping up and saying hello to you. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.